Hello and welcome. In this video, we will learn about break and continue. Alright? Now, let me write a program and explain you how it works. Okay? So, I'll say const and I'll say students is equal to, in square brackets, I'll say Ravi and Anita and Geeta, quotes, I forgot quote, yeah, Geeta and Mohan. Okay, now this is an array, so you know about arrays, right? So if I log this into console, I'll get an array. Okay, yeah. Now let me write a for loop. I'll say for const x of students. You know about for loop, correct? And in this I'll say, or let me cut this, paste this, and let this be x. Alright, so now let me run it. So I get Ravi, Anita, Geeta and Mohan are the elements of the array. Alright, so you know how to do this too. Now what I will do is, after this line, enter break. Okay, break. So now let us check what result do we get. So we get only Ravi as output. Okay, so let us try to understand what is happening here. So I said that students array has these elements, and I said that store each element from the array of students and log to the console. But then in this body I have break keyword. Okay, now what happens is, in the first loop Ravi gets stored in X and it gets logged to the console, or it gets printed and we get Ravi. And as soon as we get break, okay, as soon as it encounters break, it stops the iteration of the loop. Okay, or it stops the iteration, it stops looping. So what happens is, this for loop ends here. Alright, so as soon as break is encountered, the loop is stopped. The loop is stopped. Okay, so loop is stopped and it moves to the next line after for loop. So I'll say console.log print this. Okay, so now let me run it. So you can see I have Ravi and print this here. So as soon as break is encountered, the loop is skipped and the execution goes to this line. Alright, so basically break means stop. Break means stop. Okay, now let me delete this. Let me delete this, or let it be there. Let it be there. Let me shift this break, okay, from here to here. Alright, here. So let us check what we get. So I'll hit run and I'll get only print this. So what happens is, in the first iteration, value of Ravi gets stored in X. Okay, value of element Ravi gets stored in X. But in the next line itself, it encounters break. And as soon as it hits break, the rest of the lines are skipped, or in other words, the loop itself is skipped. The for loop itself is skipped and the execution goes to the next line. Alright, so this entire loop is skipped as soon as break is encountered. So even the first element Ravi is not printed out. Okay, so that is the difference. So if you put it here, so first it will print name Ravi and then it will stop the loop. But if you have break here before printing name Ravi, it will stop the loop. Okay. Now, let me delete this. Break like this is of no use. Okay. Break like this is of no use. We generally have conditions inside for loop. Alright. And only when that particular condition is satisfied, the loop should break. Okay. So let us do that. So I'll hit enter here. Okay. I'll hit enter here. So I'll say if, okay, if x is equal to, let me say, Geeta. Okay. If x is equal to Geeta, then I need to break. Okay. Break. So let me delete this. Okay. Let me delete this. So what I'm saying is, start the for loop as usual. Okay. Start storing the elements of this in X and start printing it out. But as soon as the value Geeta gets stored in X, okay, as soon as X is equal to Geeta or Geeta gets stored in X, break the loop or stop the iteration. Okay. So now let me run it. So I get Ravi, Anita and Geeta. Okay. Ravi, Anita and Geeta. So let us try to understand what is happening here. So in the first loop, Ravi gets stored in X, it gets printed, and then this condition is checked. So Ravi is not equal to Geeta. Okay. X is not equal to Geeta, and so it goes for second iteration. In the second iteration, Anita gets stored in X, it gets printed, and it is checked here. So Anita is not equal to Geeta. So it goes for third iteration. In the third iteration, X becomes Geeta. So Geeta gets printed, and then it is checked here. Is Geeta is equal to Geeta? So Geeta is equal to Geeta, and so this is executed. Break. So the loop stops here. Okay, loop stops here. This is skipped entirely. Alright, so this is not stored here and printed out. Now, if we have the if loop before the console log statement, then let us see what we get. So see now Ravi, Anita, Geeta is the result. I've changed the position of if loop, and now you can see we have only Ravi and Anita. We do not have Geeta here. Now let us see what is happening. First Ravi gets stored in X, and then this is checked. Okay, is Ravi equal to Geeta? So this comes out as false, and so this is executed. In the second iteration, Anita gets stored in X, and it is checked here whether Anita is equal to Geeta. No, and so this is executed. In the third iteration, Geeta gets stored in X, and here it is checked whether Geeta is equal to Geeta. So Geeta is equal to Geeta, and so it stops here, and so Geeta doesn't get printed. Okay, Geeta doesn't get printed. Alright, so this is how you use break statement or break keyword. Okay, so break is used to stop the iteration. Alright, now this break can be used in a while loop too. Alright, so let us do that now. Quickly do that. So I'll say let a equal to 1. Alright, I'll write a simple program, and I'll say while a is less than 8, I'll say a is less than 8. Console log a, alright, and a plus plus. So a plus plus, I hope you know what it is. This is equal to a is equal to a plus 1. Alright, so this is equal to this. Alright, now let me run this to get this. So you know how this works, correct? So now what I will do is I'll have if, alright, and I want to stop the loop when a is equal to, let us say, 6. Okay, so I'll say a is equal to 6. A is equal to 6. I want to break. All right, I want to break. So let me give space here so that it is easy for you to understand. Okay, yeah. So now when I run it, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 and 7 are skipped. Okay, that is because I am saying as soon as a becomes 6, stop the loop. Okay, stop the loop. All right. So this is how you can use break to stop loops. Okay, when certain condition is met. All right. Now let me delete this. Let me use a normal for loop. Okay, I'll say for, I'll say let a equal to 1. All right, and let me say a less than equal to 6. Okay, and let me say a plus plus. All right, and in the body let me say console dot log a. All right, console dot log a. So let me run it. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So now let me have break here. Okay, I'll say if a equal to 3. All right, if a equal to 3, then I'll say break. All right. So now let us check the error. Sorry, result. So 1, 2. So we get 2. 3 to 6 are not printed out. All right. So when break is encountered, the loop stops. But now, instead of having break here, let us have continue. Okay, continue, and see what we get. So let me run it, and you can see we have 1, 2, 4, 5 and 6. So when this condition was met, we do not have an output. Okay, so when a is equal to 3, we do not have an output here. So that is the difference between break and continue. Break stops the loop, continue stops or skips the iteration, not stops, skips the iteration. All right, it skips that iteration and goes to the next. That's all. All right. So in the first iteration, a is 1, this is checked, this is false, and so 1 is printed out. Second, a becomes 2, this is checked, this comes out as false, so 2 is printed. In the third iteration, a is equal to 3, and so it is true, and we encounter continue. When we have continue, it means skip the rest of the statements and go to the next iteration. Okay, and so this is not printed. So basically, break means stop the loop, continue means skip the iteration. All right, so that is to put it in simple words. All right, so continue skips the iteration. Now let us put this to use now. What I want to do is I want to print odd numbers only. Okay, I want to print odd numbers only. That means I want to skip 2, 4 and 6. So let us do that. So let this be same for let a equal to 1, a less than 6, a plus plus. Let this be same. I'll delete this. Okay. So now I'll say if, okay, if a percentage 2, so you know what this is, correct? We get reminder in this, is equal to 0, I'll say continue. Okay, I'll say continue. I'll run this to get nothing. Why? Because I do not have console.log. Yeah. So I'll say console.log and a. Okay. So let me run it now. to get odd numbers only. So let us see what is happening here. In the first iteration, a is equal to 1. So 1 mod 2 or 1 percentage 2. Now this gets you remainder, correct? So 1 percentage 2 is equal to 0. Do we have a remainder when we divide 1 by 2? Yes, we do have a remainder, and so it is not equal to 0. This is skipped. Okay, this is skipped and a is printed or 1 is printed. Next iteration, a is equal to 2. 2 divided by 2, does it give any remainder? No, remainder is 0. So remainder is equal to 0, and so that particular iteration is skipped, or in other words, this is skipped, and so we do not have 2 here. Okay. Next is 3. 3 by 2, we do not have, we do have a remainder, and so this is skipped and 3 is printed. And in the next iteration 4. 4 divided by 2, we do not have a remainder, and so this is equal to 0 and continue is executed, and so 4 is not printed. Alright, 4 is not printed. So in the same way, increasing this gets you odd numbers. Alright, if you want even numbers, you just have to say not equal to. So this is the symbol for not equal to, exclamation mark and 2 is equal to symbols, is equal to signs. This is not equal to. So let me run it to get 2, 4 and 6. Okay, we get only even numbers. So let me have this, let me increase it to 16. So let me run it to get this. Alright. So this is how you can use break to stop a loop and continue to skip the iteration. Alright. So that's it for this video. Go ahead and practice the things that we have learnt in this video. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and thank you for watching.